That's what makes you fall in love with this place. That's what you bring home with you when you leave. That's what makes you want to come back. And you're going to experience that when you're here. And that's what's going to make you fall in love. If you watched our last 2 videos, you might have guessed that this week's destination is Fort Myers Beach. We spent a lot of time in Fort Myers Beach after our own house was demolished by Hurricane Helene. And while they're still recovering from their own hurricane experience almost 3 years ago now, it is still paradise. Just like our Sanibel video, we were lucky to really immerse ourselves into the island, and today's video was filmed over the course of several months. It might be a little choppy and not quite as well polished because of that, but it is authentic, and I think that you will still see why Fort Myers Beach is so special. For reference, we started filming here in October of 2024, and we went back one last time in June to just kind of wrap it all up. So with that, let's go to Fort Myers Beach.
All right, I got a almond joy latte, iced, from Mojo's here. Oh, it's real sweet. I get black coffees a lot. You gonna try
Turn
it?
around here.
All right.
I already had a coffee this morning. That's why I didn't order my own. But I did influence the decision to make this, to order this one. That's my style.
It's pretty good. Yeah, it's really good. yeah. So right across from the coffee place, we have this, which is the Goods Shop Local. That's what it says on the sign.
Yeah, it's a gift shop and a hardware store, but what I wanted to say about it is that we are here at the middle to end of November, and earlier this week they just announced that basically any sort of trailer that can't be pulled off of the island quickly and easily with a truck has to get off the island. That's not Fort Myers Beach's rule. That's coming from FEMA, and if people don't listen to that rule, FEMA can pull their funding. And we've learned a lot about FEMA and funding through our own experience going through a hurricane, unfortunately. But so that just happened. It was just announced this week. Fort Myers Beach requested an extension through I think June of 2025, and it was denied. So by Monday, which is actually tomorrow, they have to get off the island, and they could face fines, or they could have to report to the magistrate if they don't. So I don't know if that will still be here. It doesn't look like that's one of the dwellings that could be easily taken off of the island, but I know that that's brought a lot of people a lot of happiness. A lot of people have liked that store. It's a nice little souvenir shop, and I also feel like all the businesses here are doing the best they can, and one of the ways that they can do that while they wait for permitting and to find a crew to rebuild, that's not easy stuff, and it's not a fast-moving process, obviously. One of the ways they've been doing that is through trailers and things like that. So anyway, I just thought I'd mention that. I don't know what some of the places we're going to today will look like if you come after us because of that rule from FEMA. I know that talking about those trailers is pretty outdated at this point. That was over 6 months ago, but I included it because I thought that for anyone who doesn't know what it's like to go through a hurricane or other natural disaster, that it might be interesting to see how much the rules are constantly changing and how much red tape you have to go through when you decide to dig your heels in and rebuild. We talked to an employee of that trailer that we had showed, and not only are they planning to rebuild across the street in a new building that's up to the current hurricane codes, but they had been trying to get permits. They have the work done of what it's going to look like and everything. They've done so much work. So it's not like they're not trying to rebuild. Homeowners and businesses are in a bigger hurry than anyone. They're not dragging their feet. And so it's frustrating to come up with these temporary solutions like the trailers while waiting for those endless permits to be awarded only to be shot down. But this is the reality, and it's only a small glimpse of what it looks like. Island people are tough, they have grit, and honestly, unless you have endless money, which most people don't, you have to have that grit. You have to be tough. So when you come to the island, that is what you're supporting, and I think it's helpful to have that background.
Yeah. I never knew, my whole life, I always thought FEMA was like a helping situation, but they're a bunch of
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, we're going through
We're
it
building another place across the street.
too. It's not like you're not trying. Like if you were just not trying.
We've been trying for the last 2 years.
It's like, everything is coming to a complete...
Yeah.
Next, we're headed to Mom's, which is famous for their cinnamon rolls for very good reason. They are currently operating out of a trailer because their building was damaged by Ian as well. Here is a little before and after, and if that doesn't put into perspective the power of this hurricane, I don't know what will. We got it to go. What is it?
It is called the Island Delight. It's just, it's like pineapple, mango, strawberry. Will loves it though. Claire's not really into...
We got it to go because we were taking a little nap, but... Big reach over here.
Nope.
This cinnamon roll looks incredible. I see why they are famous for this cinnamon roll. And this thing weighs like 5 pounds. I swear, it's so heavy. It's a hit, both of us.
Oh, super good, yeah. Good stuff. Super good.
Oh my gosh.
Little B&G.
This is one of the best cinnamon rolls I've ever had. I just will probably say this a lot throughout the video, but it's inspiring to see how businesses have like found ways to make it work even though they don't have a building right now. So yeah. All right, I'm gonna go eat my cinnamon roll. I think what they're doing here is what they're doing back where we live on the beach, which is they're cleaning the sand. So after a storm, the sand can't just be put on the beach. It has to be sanitized because of things like sewage and all the other things that might be in the water after a huge flood. So I think that that's what they're doing there. I know that they're doing that back home in the Tampa Bay area pretty much around the clock. And then once it's sanitized, they can put it back on the beach. But this is just another reminder of how, like, everywhere you look, there is, you know, remnants of some of the devastation. Like this huge lot here, this definitely wasn't empty before the storm. At least that's my guess. But then over here, you have a house that looks undamaged. You have gorgeous palm trees and the beach. So, yeah.
We are going to the farmer's market.
Thursday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. there is a farmer's market in the Santini Plaza. So I will show you the farmer's market, but I also wanted to highlight some of the shops that are starting to open here. So I think this is brand new. I'm not sure. It's either brand new or they just fixed it back up after the hurricane. So some of the shops are still empty, but some are starting to open. So there is a surf style, a liquor store, a bookshop, and then 2 really cute boutiques. So make sure that you show them some love, these small businesses here, while you're visiting the farmer's market. And I wanted to show you 2 of my favorite shops in Santini Plaza. The first is Annette's Book Nook, which has every kind of book you could ever want. They seriously have so many. It's perfect for picking out a book to read on the beach. But then right next door is the Islander, which has the best gifts, clothes, cards, just like literally a little bit of everything. Now, if you are coming to Fort Myers Beach, chances are you like the beach and maybe want to know what that looks like. So let's check out the beach at Fort Myers Beach. You can park right by the Lani Kai for $25 a day. At least that's what we paid today. It's right on the beach. Nice location. You can definitely get cheaper parking further down the island in like the less touristy areas, but we want to hang out around here today. The Lani Kai is a Fort Myers Beach staple, and it reopened in December. Another resort in Fort Myers Beach is Margaritaville, and this place was pretty controversial when it first opened. A lot of people felt like bringing such a large chain took away from the small island feel, and while that may be true, others think that because of Margaritaville being there, it helped Fort Myers Beach bounce back a little bit faster than it might have had it not been there. Right now I am walking to the beach on a more private access area. So if you just go a little ways down from like the main area of Fort Myers Beach, the main area is like right when you come in over the bridge, and that's where the Margaritaville is. That's the main area I'm talking about. If you just come a little ways down the beach, you're going to have a much different experience for a couple of reasons. So the first is that the beaches are not going to be as busy, and that's what I'm going to show you first. So for parking, it's really easy. We just drove until we found a spot that had an opening, and there are just a bunch of like public access spots. They're small, and there's just room for like, I don't know, between like 3 and 10-ish cars depending on the spot. And so we just parked there and came here and had the beach almost completely to ourselves. One of the most loved and popular areas of Fort Myers Beach is definitely Times Square. This is where the pier used to be, and there are plenty of bars and restaurants in this area. While the bars and restaurants are back, construction on the new pier won't even start until 2026, with an expected opening date of August 2027. This next place I'm going to show you has actually closed since we've been there, but I'm including it because I think it's really unique and it captures the vibe of Fort Myers Beach. So this is Bonita Bill's, or it was Bonita Bill's, and it's located right across the bridge from Fort Myers Beach, right on the water. It's an open air bar and restaurant, and yes, that is a boat that washed up during the hurricane. I don't know about washed up, so it probably wasn't quite that gentle, but they just left it there and you can sign it, and any place that does that is so cool. We are sad it was sold, but it is going to be another restaurant. The company who bought it also owns Doc Ford's, which is in Fort Myers Beach, and Dixie Fish Company, also in Fort Myers Beach. We're actually going to check out Dixie Fish Company a little bit later, but both of these restaurants are amazing places to go as well. Now we're going to take you to a lesser visited spot on the island. I really think this is a bit of a hidden gem, or at least that not everyone knows it's here. It's called the Mound House, and instead of explaining it myself, I'm going to let one of the employees do it, who, by the way, were absolutely so incredible and friendly.
I'll give you kind of a brief intro into who we are. Okay. So we're the Mound House. They're a cultural and environmental history museum. And now our building is the oldest standing building on the island. This room technically would have been built first, though was later torn down by other families. 1906, it was a kitchen. But the oldest standing still would be 1909. It would have been a living room and a sleeping loft. And then it was continuously renovated by people living here. So we set it back to its 1921 state, what we're in today. But so as you go, you'll learn about also the oldest standing structure on the island, or at least the people who built it. Everything beneath our feet is entirely made of shell. So we're 13 feet above sea level, and when you go over the threshold, you'll see there's actually a window into the shell mound itself. So you can see the shells beneath our feet.
We're in the Mound House right now, which you can see has been around for a very long time. This is layers of history. This cabin is built 13 feet above sea level and was built by the Native American people trying to build up so that they could put their house up higher for obvious reasons, you know, just the tides and incoming, you know, hurricane storms they were having. Very neat place. You can actually see down. They have like a little window where you can look down and see just like the shells and stuff that this mound is made out of, which is it's just very, very interesting. There's been constant occupancy of this land for over 2,000 years, which is just incredible that, you know, just this land has been held and taken care of for that long. They also have a lot of cool stuff for kids. It's okay, it's a magnet. There, it just goes right there. They have a lot of cool stuff. They have arts and crafts set up today. And I think it's second Saturday, they have free admission for families, which is really, really cool. The upstairs of this place has all sorts of different artifacts and pottery and different things they've found, different plants and bee species that are on the island, like native tools, obviously remade stuff. Really neat up here. So from the top floor, you can really get a good look at why they chose this area to build on. Fantastic views. I mean, this is one of the nicest areas you can be in. Tons and tons of resources, fish and mussels and anything you want in the water. Plus, when you get the height that they're at here, you know, if these trees could talk, what stories they would tell. You know, they have these really, really old oaks out here and cypress, and just, it's a really, really cool property, just alone with the building. So the property is actually 3 acres and sits all waterfront, different docks and stuff you can pull up on too, but really neat.
There used to be a downstairs portion of this museum. Well, it's still there, but it's under construction, and it's where you can really see the shell mound. And they got it all fixed up after Hurricane Ian, and then hurricanes Helene and Milton came, and now it's under construction again. So they're doing what they can to preserve it and hopefully reopen it, but it is closed now. And that's like probably everyone's favorite part of the museum. So hopefully they can. It's really expensive to do that kind of work, so I don't really know where it's at, but yeah, it's closed right now, unfortunately. The Mound House has about 6 spots for parking, so if they are full, then there's overflow parking here. Let me show you how close it is. It's no big deal. This is the huge overflow lot. It's located at 216 Connecticut Street, and then it's just like a block and a half down here to the entrance. So parking is good, which is always amazing on the island because that's not the case everywhere or on every island. Okay, we headed just across the bridge in Fort Myers Beach for lunch. Now, when we were here before, we ate right here, Bonita-Bill's. It has since closed down, sadly. This was a favorite by so many people. It was just like an authentic old Florida open air beach bar type place, but they also had food, and they actually had a boat from Hurricane Ian that had washed up, and they like left it there and everyone signed it, which kind of tells you everything that you could want to know about that place. So cool. And so the boat has been lifted out, it's gone, and they are in the process of rebuilding. It was purchased by a new company. I'm still going to show you the footage of it because I feel like it does capture the spirit of Fort Myers Beach really well. But let me show you today where we're going instead. So actually back up here, there is where we ate last time, and if you still want to come over here, I recommend it. We're going to the Dixie Fish Company over here. I'll show you more obviously, but just down the way. And like Bonita-Bill's, it is also right on the water. We started with ceviche, and then Mitchell got the BLTAE, and I got shrimp tacos. Everything was incredible, and we especially liked that they had unique sides besides just like French fries. These potatoes were perfectly seasoned and so good. The views here were incredible. We saw lots of cool boats go by, including the pirate ship. Just good vibes, a great place to grab lunch or dinner.
Oh man.
Wait, right behind you, it's so crazy how gorgeous it is. Like the beach is like right behind you. And I feel like this is the epitome of Fort Myers Beach right now, because we have like a gorgeous, stunning house right next to someone living in an RV. And so like, I just feel like that shows like, it's kind of what you choose to focus on. There's like plenty to do, right? Like we just got coffee, but then like everywhere you look, you can see devastation if you are looking for it.
Oh, yeah.
I guess you could say. But I just feel like this picture like sums it up really well.
I also dig this tree that made it. I don't know what kind of tree it is, but it's actually pretty sick.
Yeah.
It just reminds me of like just like original Florida, like old Florida tree on the beach, you know what I mean?
But there is another thing that you're going to notice when you get away from the more touristy area of Fort Myers Beach, and that is that the devastation from Hurricane Ian is a little bit more obvious here. So you're going to find brand new, gorgeous mansion of houses that look like they could withstand any amount of hurricane, back to back or anything in between. And then right next to it, there might be an RV with someone still living in it from 2 years ago when Hurricane Ian hit. I'm not telling you this to discourage you from coming here. I hope that this video actually does the opposite. I more say it because I was very interested in what happened here after Hurricane Ian. Hurricane Ian was actually supposed to hit us directly, and we had just bought our beach house a few months before. So we were very invested in this hurricane, and then I've always been interested in natural disasters anyways. So I say that to say that I think that I watched more footage. Hold on, there's a plane. So I probably watched more footage than the average person off after Hurricane Ian. I was also 7 months pregnant, so I had a lot of time on my hands because I was exhausted. So I say that to say that like I felt like I knew how devastating it was, and it wasn't until I experienced a hurricane myself that I realized how much of a toll it truly takes. And the decision that you make to rebuild is not just a decision that you make once, it's a decision that you make over and over again. Every time there's a setback, which is all the time, you make that decision again. And so the choice to rebuild is not an easy one. And so when you see that here 2 years later, there's still devastation, it hits you how hard these people were hit, and it hits you like how strong they are to choose to still be here, to choose to rebuild. And I feel like that spirit has helped me heal and start my healing process, to be around people who get it, to be around people who have made the hard choice to rebuild, and to be around people who just want this lifestyle, who want to be here so bad that they will take the hard road and continue to fight tooth and nail every single day, fighting with insurance, fighting with FEMA. It's such a fight. And to see them do it because they love it here, that's what sticks with you when you come here. That's what makes you fall in love with this place. That's what you bring home with you when you leave. That's what makes you want to come back. And you're going to experience that when you're here. And that's what's going to make you fall in love. So thank you, Fort Myers Beach, for being so special, for welcoming people back in the midst of your like healing process, and for being such an amazing place for all of us to just heal, no matter what it might be from. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching.